All right, we are live on YouTube.
Gary, you're the chair. Would you like to call this meeting to order?
Yes, as chair, would like to call this meeting to order as of 4:04 p.m. on January 18. Were you able to hear that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and do a roll call. Terry Amott.
Present.
Gary Peterson.
Here.
Edward Kontz.
Here.
And Terry Gottschall has an excused absence. And then at staff here, we have myself, John Rickard, the Community Development Director, Christy Sugar, our Administrative Assistant. And we have Athen Reed, our Deputy Clerk. And then we also have in attendance with us consultants with Wiley Monument who are going to basically listen in on one of our agenda items and then provide feedback as needed. And I just lost where I was. Went backwards in time on my agenda. So the next portion of our meeting is public comment. Athen, do we have anybody in attendance?
There's no one in virtual or physical attendance, and we did not receive any public comment ahead of time.
Thank you. And then we have on the consent agenda, we have approval of agenda for January 18th. So approve the minutes, approve the minutes from November 16th, 2023. We do a consent agenda, so we just need a motion and vote.
Is there any motion?
I move we accept the consent agenda.
A second?
Second.
Moved and approved. I guess we'll accept those minutes from November's meeting.
Great. So on the regular agenda, we have the Poor Farm Cemetery Monument art review. And Athen, could you pull up the items for us to look at as a group? So as you're aware, we have a grant to put a monument sign at the Poor Farm Cemetery, and we met last year in November and took a look at the first review. We took your comments and brought that back to Virgil with Wiley Monument, and then they made some changes. We would like you guys to take a look at that and take your comments. And then we have Virgil with Wiley Monument here with us, and also Reed, who is their arts director. And with that, I'll turn it over to the commission.
I was not at the November meeting, but I have gone through and read each page is presented here, the front left, the front right, the front center, and then the back as well that Wiley's come up with. And I commend everyone for coming up with all these names. One thing that struck me, it's just pure comment, was I was shocked at how many infants were buried there. I counted 85 total, which, considering I know there was a high death rate among infants back then, but I'm surprised that there were that many young people living at the poor farmer, people, women of childbearing age. I wonder what the story is there, but you did a good job of laying all the names out. Terry, did
Yeah.
you see any of the corrections that were made to the list so that they could bring it back to us now with these corrected spellings and so forth?
Somehow I have not found the list in the earlier email. I missed it somehow. What was the date of it?
I'm not sure, but I believe it was prior to the November meeting date.
No, but the corrected one, did we get that in the email
Oh,
recently?
yes, the email today has,
Oh,
it was sent, I
Yeah.
believe, maybe on Wednesday. And I'll try and go back a page here. It shows each section, we have a sign with a front and a back, and then there's basically 3 columns on each side. So there's the front left, front center, front right, back back left, back center, back right. And the names all seem to be, everything's very legible, and they use 2 different types of what do you call it? Grammar, where say you have the person's last name first,
mhm.
followed by the first name. In many cases, they're followed by just an initial, like Espinoza, J. We don't know if that was a Jose or Juana. And then, I'm assuming those are just going the best records that were available, but it's very easy to differentiate between the different names per line.
Mhm. I don't see anything in I got a notification of the meeting on Wednesday, but I didn't see any file.
Okay.
No.
Did you get a notification from Christie with a link in it to the board docs? That would have had a link to the images were
Was that
sent through
on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so there should have been a link to open up the board docs meeting information.
Yeah,
If you
it's,
have an email from Christie and click on that, that should lead you to these, what we're talking about.
Basically what we're after though today
Oh,
is
here we
just
go.
there you go, the general layout.
right.
So if you recall from when we met, we had columns in the prior versions.
Right.
And then there was some reference to some other sites. And so we did a more of a center justified with and random. We eliminated the columns. I see that there's in some instances where we didn't know, like maybe a first name.
Right.
There's a question mark. So like, is that acceptable? For you guys, do you like the font? We asked for more spacing at the bottom of each piece so that if somebody laid flowers or whatever, there's just more room at the bottom. And then if we have to add anything, there's a little bit of room for adding stuff at later dates. Just in general, there's more room.
What are the dimensions of each of these panels? Roughly?
They're
Yeah.
stated on the drafts that you're looking at.
Oh yeah, right there. So
56 by 48, that's
Yeah.
the panel?
That
Or
would be
the
like
whole
the
wall?
center one is 48 by 60, and then the side one they're a little shorter,
Okay,
not
Yeah,
by
they're-
much.
56 by 48.
okay.
This is a fairly substantially sized
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is. Originally, these were all set up to be vertically, and the outer wings or the left and right tablets you guys had changed to a horizontal layout.
Mhm. What was the approximate height of each line of lettering? Is it picas or inches or
0.75.
points or? Hmm?
But
It
I
was,
mean,
the names are 0.75, so 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, good. Oh, that's gonna be very nicely readable. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Virgil or Reed, did you have anything to add that might be helpful?
Just with the amount of lettering, the current layout, I believe allowed the names to be taller and to add a little bit more space between the different sections and overall make everything a lot more legible.
Hmm.
Whereas before with the column layout, it lended itself to making things a lot smaller and crowded. So
This is very legible. This was good work. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks
Mhm.
good.
And it looks like if I understand the treatment you're saying at the top, the lettering will be finished in a black, right?
yes,
So it'll
that's to
pop out.
add contrast. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are the letters of each name cut but not colored then?
The
There-
letters for basically all the lettering will be blasted into the granite, engraved into
Okay.
the granite, and then painted black.
Thank you.
I think it looks very good. Arial's a very good choice.
Yes.
So I have, sounds like everyone is pleased with it. So there are a couple of, well, there's two motions up there that you can choose from within board docs. One says motion to approve the Poor Farm Cemetery monument art as presented. And then the other option was a motion to approve the Poor Farm Cemetery monument art as conditioned. If you had any qualms about any of it, if there was anything that needed to be adjusted.
Is there a motion to approve the Poor Farm Cemetery monument as presented?
So move.
Second?
I hear a first and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think that's unanimous.
It is. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you.
And thank you, Virgil and Reed, for attending. I'm glad it turned out to be very painless for you. I will go ahead and sign off on these and get these over to you guys. However, I must state that, and I don't know if you saw this when you looked over the agenda, I do have to send this on to the Washington Trust of Historic Preservation for their sign off. They're usually pretty quick about approving plans. Doesn't have to usually go before a committee or anything. They just want to take a look at it. So
Okay,
so maybe what I'll do is send that on to them before I send it on to you, so there's no confusion about whether we have the go ahead or not. Does that sound good?
yeah, that actually works out great. If you were to send them to me ahead of time, I would just leave them in the email, waited for your secondary approval from the preservation committee. So either way will work. We won't move forward until you say you're ready for production.
Okay. And just so everyone's aware, we do have a project completion date of June 30th of this year. And that includes installation. So, so obviously time is of the essence on all sides on this. You guys probably want to get that stuff out of your shop and, so.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get the production part of it going, just because it will take a few months to get this through production.
Yep.
And then as spring allows, we'll be able to go out and do the concrete work that's needed for underneath all of this at the Poor Farm site. So yeah, we will need to get moving on this.
Yep. Time's gonna, June 30th, we'll be here before we know it.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much, Virgil and Reed. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, we do not have any other items on the agenda for this meeting. At our next month's meeting, we do need to deal with our officers. So think about whether or not you want Gary to continue on, or if somebody else wants to take the reins, or so
I would
just
be
keep that in
happy
mind.
to serve another term, but I would be more than happy to allow somebody with more experience to become the chair to lead the meetings. But I'm just putting that out there.
I think you're doing a fine job as chair, Gary.
Thank you. I feel like I'm stumbling, but haven't fallen quite yet. Thanks to John.
Practice makes perfect, so I think you should continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know it is challenging to try to view the agenda items in board docs if you only have one screen, and you're also trying to view the meeting at the same time because the clerk might pop something up that would block your view. So, but when the weather's good, I would encourage all of you to attend in person if you are able. We have this beautiful new renovated council room. And so, yeah, I'd like y'all to attend in person if you are able. So.
It's beautiful for sure.
Yeah. Well, should we go ahead and now adjourn this meeting since we've completed our agenda?
Sure can. Our next meeting would be February 15th
Okay.
at 4 p.m.
Okay. Well, good. How again do I call for a motion on adjournment?
You can. It would be to conclude the meeting is the terminology that's preferred, apparently.
Okay. Not having anything else before us, do I hear a motion for us to conclude today's meeting?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Well, thank you very much, John. Thank you, Terry, Ed, for attending. And I admit, I really like the changes that were made. It's going to be much easier to read and for people to be able to see the names at eye level, I think. I think that was good work done at the last time you met.
Yeah, thank you. You guys had great comments last time, and it made it easy for them to make the changes.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, well.
See you in February then.
You bet.
All right.
Drive
Stay
safe.
safe out there.
Thank you.
Right.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leave. There it is.